Welcome back to Vikes with a Mike, another free agency episode coming at you. Um, Sorry we didn't get to y'all on Thursday. Had some stuff going on. It feels like we're getting busy at the wrong time, Tyler. Right? Like this is the
Yeah.
time that we need to be on our freaking A game. I feel like I'm doom scrolling on freaking Twitter every 5 minutes,
Yeah.
right? But man, do we got some news, right? I mean,
Yep.
like, we're some happy Vikings fans right now. I mean, maybe not as happy as we'd like to be. We'll get into that, but pretty dang happy. Patrick Peterson, the man that I am 99% sure I said last episode, like basically showed his cards and said he was re-signing with Arizona, is now officially a Minnesota Viking.
Yeah.
Um, First reactions, thoughts. Tell me what you're thinking, Tyler.
I'm shocked. I didn't expect something like this.
No, me neither.
It's really crazy because I heard something about his agent was actually in talks with Rick, and those
Yeah.
two got it done with like 2 hours, just like that.
Yes, 2 hours while he was chilling in the Bahamas.
Yep, I saw that tweet. That was
That's
great.
crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Man,
he would be swimming and then he would come out of the pool, take a call, listen to Rick and Zim talk about all their pitch and stuff, and then he'd hang up, think about
Yep.
it, get
So-
another call.
Yeah. So was this is it 8 million, right? I
It's
feel like he
8 mil on the cap, 10 mil in total, I think, with incentives and all that stuff.
he took less than to come here
Yes, he
than
did.
from Arizona. So I don't know. I feel like his comments are really interesting about us being elite and like, what did he say? What was the
we're
word
stacked.
exactly?
The
We're stacked.
roster is
Yep.
stacked.
Yep. And
Yeah, it's
he's
crazy.
he's really wanting to take control of that cornerback's room of being a mentor for these young guys.
So that's the other thing that I kind of want
Yep.
to get your thoughts on. He officially says, I'm coming here, as far as I know, to play corner. I am not doing the whole hybrid thing. I'm not going to go corner and safety. Obviously, we officially lost out on the Harris deal, which kind of pisses me off since it was only 5 mil that Washington got him for. But, or not Washington, Philly. But man, I don't hate it. I obviously great, awesome, especially with Mike Hughes and his injury issues. Heck, who knows if he's honestly going to make the final roster, depending on whether or not he can bounce back.
Yeah.
You need an older guy. You need kind of a coach in pads. He's going to be that Terrence Newman for us. And obviously that's a major thing that brought him to the Vikings, right? Is like he said, Zimmer's ability to bring these corners kind of back from the dead, and not only back from the dead, but revitalize their career so that they can play late into their 30s or mid 30s, which is obviously huge for the 31-year-old Patrick Peterson. So give me more of your thoughts, man.
I just feel like people got to realize, like, people are saying, oh, he's washed or whatever. It's like Terrence Newman was playing at elite level when he was like 35. It's like this dude's only turning 31. Like,
right.
I mean,
right.
I feel like that's not that old. I mean, it is kind of old for a corner, but like it's not that old if you really think about it. I don't know. This guy's played in an elite level for a lot of his career. It's just these last couple of years.
I think Terrence, if I remember correctly, what I read was actually older than Pete is now when Zim first brought Terrence Newman to Cincinnati.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy, man. Like we forget, I think he was like 37 when he came to the Vikes or something like that.
Yep.
Absolutely insane. When you think about what Terrence Newman did in purple, because he by no means was like the obvious weak link on that Vikings defense. He provided what he needed to provide. Granted, he was subbed in quite a bit, but also if you're the Vikings, why would you not, sub out Pat Pete every once in a while too to get your young corners in there? And I have no doubt that we're going to have probably at least one new corner coming in with this draft. So
I definitely see that. I think it's solid. I mean, it solidifies that room. He's going to be the teacher. We didn't have that all last season. I don't think Mike.
No,
it's like
the leadership is insane, right?
Yep.
So like Dalvin Tomlinson, Walter Payton, Man of the Year nominee from the New York Giants, a team captain. Patrick Peterson, obviously team captain, all decade team, all pro, a guy who had been in multiple Pro Bowls. This is a man who leads locker rooms absolutely leads locker rooms. It can't be overstated how awesome it is going to be to have that leadership back on the field, not just in the locker room. Obviously, we had some leadership in the locker room, but D Hunt, Dalvin Tomlinson, Anthony Barr, Pat Peterson. We were a 7-9 team last year. We were Alexander Madison hitting a hole away from going to the playoffs last year. And now we've added these two studs on the defense. Obviously, we'll get into it here in a little bit when we talk about some free agents that we still would like to see the Vikings sign. There's some holes on the offensive line that we need to address. We might have gotten a little bit worse on offense, but if we can come back, man, if we can bounce back from this thing, there's no reason the Vikings can't make a deep playoff run here.
Especially because we weren't even fully healthy last year. Like just adding these guys, like, oh man, it's gonna be fun. I just feel like I've kind of been talking about the leadership too this offseason. I wanted that back. That's why I wanted Everson Griffin back. But I feel like Pat Pete's gonna help the secondary a lot. So I don't know. The defense is gonna be so fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Evan's still on the board. Are you hinting at somebody that you want to see him sign? Maybe. We'll get there. We'll get there, right? We'll get there. Pat P, man, huge. Absolutely huge. Welcome back to the purple and gold. Played at LSU. Super happy to be back in his old colors. Has known JJ since he was like 10, 11 years old. Golfing buddy with Adam Thielen. I think he said he had another connection as well. Some maybe with Mike Hughes or something like that, if I remember correctly. Anyways, point is he's got connections to some of his teammates already. He knows D Hunt, obviously another LSU guy. Zim, from what I understand, and half of the Vikings fan base is going to hate to hear this, but from what I understand is Zim is the reason this man is here.
Yeah. He
believes that Zim can take him to get a Super Bowl, which is, obviously what he's chasing, right? So.
Oh, man.
I feel like that's also like huge, right? Like this is a guy who has not won a chip, and he could have probably went back to Arizona, taken a pay cut, stay with Arizona, a team who I believe, and I know you kind of believe, maybe a little bit less so than I do, but I know we still both kind of agree here. I really think that Arizona is going to be in the conversation for a deep playoff run coming up here. I think that they're a really fun team to watch. I think that they're going to be an even more fun team to watch this next year. So the fact that he decided, no, I'm going to go to Minnesota, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to make these comments about this team being stacked and all that stuff. I think it's awesome, man. I think it's absolutely awesome because he definitely took a pay cut. $8 million. I think he could have gotten at least like 11. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I do too. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. And who knows, man? Maybe this won't just be a 1-year thing. Like if he finds that he can come back to this elite level because of what Zim does for him, like maybe he'll take even more of a pay cut and try and win a few with us or something like that. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So that was the big Vikings related news. There hasn't really been any other signings, which leads us to kind of our next segment here, right? So we need more. The Vikings, last I checked, 10.3 somewhere there in cap space. I don't know the exact number. That's not including the guaranteed money for Chad Beebe's deal, which is obviously very, very little. He's got less than $1 million salary. He's taking the vet minimum. So, we still have basically just say about 10 mil right now in cap space. And that is without the 7.9 mil that will be created after June 1st with the Kyle Rudolph signing, because they decided to post June 1st designate that cut. So that's going to come after June, which is fine. Quite honestly, I kind of like that because it's like, okay, we can set that money aside. We know that we're going to have that cap space. We know that we can sign our draft class basically with that money. Right. So, let's just get into it. I want to hear your thoughts first. 10 mil. who do we still need to sign? It can be as many guys as you want, as few guys as you want. Obviously, try and make it work with the numbers thing. Nobody really knows what the market looks like as these days go on. But who do you want to see?
Well, I'm just going to throw out 2 wide receivers to start off the rip. The obvious being Larry Fitzgerald at the number one spot. I mean, this team still needs a 3rd wide receiver. I don't care what anybody says about Chad Beebe. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, that's a no for me. That's a no for me. As far as I'm concerned, he could be a cut.
Yeah, something still bothers me there.
Absolutely. Chad Beebe is no bueno for me. Cannot do Chad Beebe. We're gonna need we're gonna need to wait and see that final roster when that comes out. But when the final roster comes out, I honestly would be shocked if Chad Beebe is not on that final roster.
All right. So for number 2, then I don't know if you know Demir Bird is from the New England Patriots. He was He's a wide receiver out there. The kid can fly. He's fast. I feel like this team could still use a guy that can run just straight down the field and beat guys with speed. As a wide receiver threat, I don't feel like it's a possession receiver that we need. I feel like it's a guy that can just stretch the field and beat corners with his speed. I feel like it'd be pretty cheap. Demir, it would be awesome for Kirk Cousins for the deep ball. I mean, especially when teams are going to be looking at JJ and Thielen on the outside. I don't know. I feel like it'd take a little pressure off Kirk Cousins. Give him another weapon. I don't know why it wouldn't be a bad option, especially with Keelan Cole off the board, because I know me and you both wanted him as a fit here, which I like.
God, so, right. Wouldn't that have been awesome? But I'm just looking at this guy right now. I definitely heard the name, but this is definitely something I could be into.
It's
an older
a little
guy
deep.
too.
Yep, it's a little deep down on the list, but I mean, I don't know.
He wouldn't be much of a cap hit, that's for sure. He'd be a very, very small cap hit. And he'd bring a veteran presence to the locker room, obviously, which is great. I agree though that Larry Fitzgerald, in my opinion, if you're gonna go to a Demir Bird, I think Larry Fitzgerald has to be kind of above him in that list, right? Because you could probably get him for super cheap, right? Like, especially now that you got Pat Pete on the squad, have him freaking get in there with the calls and stuff, trying to persuade him to get over here and come back to Minnesota. But could you imagine, man, like Larry Fitzgerald coming back to Minnesota and winning the championship with his home team? Like, would that not be the best thing in the world?
Yeah.
Minnesota fans go crazy. That would be absolutely insane. I like those guys. What do you got? Anything else for me? Or?
I got 2 more guys.
Let's go.
At the offensive guard position, I like Trey Turner from the LA Chargers.
All right,
I feel like this team is missing it. They need to pick somebody up. They've got to get someone up on the offensive line. I mean, there's 2 spots open right now. I know we're probably going to draft one in the first round. I mean, we kind of have to, but I feel like it's a no-brainer. And then maybe another guy. I have to go with Quentin Spain. I mean, he's from Cincinnati. I mean, I know he's not that great. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the guard market is kind of shit. It's gone. The offensive line market's kind of gone down now. I feel like all those guys, the good ones are off the board at this point.
For sure.
I don't really.
All the greats are for sure off the board at this point. You're going to have to kind of take a shot in the dark per se. I definitely like both of those names, though. Yet again, not gonna kill you as far as cap goes, especially kind of day by day, like you said, as the market tends to die off for these guards. So you could get them probably for cheap, which can only hope is what the Vikings are freaking doing at this point, right? Like the fact that you haven't heard anything or haven't seen any signings on the offensive line, there's got to be something out there in this the NFL world right now, in the free agency world, where these teams just kind of know that either a ton of teams are already good on the offensive line, and the ones that need it know that there's going to be some guys there that they can kind of wait it out and be like, all right, we can bring these contract prices down. Or they're just being idiots, which I choose to believe is not the case, or at least I hope is not the case. I will say, unless, I guess I should get into my guys, right?
Yep.
Might as well. So as far as the offensive line goes, I think that's the biggest thing that you need to address, in my opinion, here.
Yep.
And I think that there are a few ways that you can do that. The best way, I would say, that would be cheap and pretty easy, is to hire a guy like Nick Easton or Forrest Lamp. I like both those guys at the guard position. Obviously, Nick Easton, I'm like 99.9% sure he was a Viking at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He was, yep.
So Nick Easton, welcome him back to Purple. He hasn't had like the best past 2 years, but maybe a year back in his former squad would revitalize him a little bit. He's only 28. He's gonna be probably about 29 when the season starts. So not terrible as far as an offensive lineman goes. Look at Trent Williams. He just signed his massive deal. I think he's like 31. So
yeah.
You can do these things. He's gotten above he's got an above pass blocking grade, much better than Drew Samia in his 18. So at the very least, he's also, and I hate to say this because I'm not a big fan of this, but I feel like it fits kind of the Vikings and what they look for in offensive linemen. He's moldable. You can use him as a guard or a center. So let's say Garrett Bradbury just starts looking like absolute trash. I'm pretty sure actually Nick Easton was a center for us, if I remember correctly.
Yep, he was. He played some center here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, and then you got Forrest Lamp, which he was drafted in 2017. He was a second round pick. He's played for the Chargers. He's not great, but here's the thing. Yeah. He's had injuries. That's what it is. And when you look at offensive linemen, just in general, it tends to take them a few years to kind of figure these things out. I think that a change of scenery would be really good for Forrest Lamp. I think that there is enough how do you say it? I think that there's enough leadership kind of just in the locker room in general that he would be a good fit. I also like just his intangibles that he's got. I think that given the right option and put in the right situation, he can bounce back and he can be a really great guard for us. At least average guard. That's all we need. Right? Like at this point, we just need average at the very least. We just need anything but below average at this point. Even garbage is what we have on this team right now. The other big offensive lineman, though, that I have heard a little bit of chatter on, I'm not going to lie, I've heard a little bit of chatter on it, and it's hard to say because his asking price might be a little bit too much, but at the same time, I haven't heard a ton on this player. So maybe his price is dropping, which is really good. You have to assume that it is. Eric Fisher. This guy could step in, 30 years old, play left tackle. We wouldn't probably have to worry about this for like another 3 years. Heck, I wouldn't even be mad if you still drafted a tackle in like the second round, found a way to get back in the second round. Get another tackle or get a guard or something like that. But at least if you make this signing, for sure that you have a solid offensive lineman to plug and play. He'd obviously take right over there for Riley Reef, which would be massive for this team. Absolutely massive. Let me run some of these numbers by you real quick. Okay.
Yep.
In 2020, he was the 16th greatest tackle out of 79. In 2019, he was the 30th. And in 2018, he was the 23rd. Now, mind you, this is not out of 32, right? Every team has 2 tackles. So this is out of 64. Those are great numbers. And his projected contract at the beginning of free agency was a 2-year, $10 million average. How much money do we have right now? How much did I start out by saying today's episode?
10 mil.
10 mil. That's right. And we know because of how long it's taken for news to come up with this player, his price has dropped. Whether or not he likes that, his price has dropped. It's probably closer to 8 million right now, is what I would assume. I say give him 3 years. Give him 3 years at an average of 7 million. Come at him with that and backload a ton of incentives on it, right? Like give him playing time snaps or something, especially if you're super like high on Ezra Cleveland. If you think Ezra Cleveland can play left tackle, give him playing time incentives, because then you can just throw in Ezra Cleveland once you find, this point at which he's become a starting talent. And then at the very least, you have Ezra, a guy who you plugged into guard last year. So you're not really going back on his development. If anything, you're progressing that. And then you address the other guard position in the draft. And I think that at this point, the way that we're seeing the quarterback situation, the wide receiver situation, heck, the defensive line situation, we're virtually guaranteed to get a solid guard / tackle fall to us at 14, if not later, if we want to trade back a few slots. So Eric Fisher, man, I'm telling you, watch for this name. I saw something that basically said within the organization that Eric Fisher is extremely interested in signing with the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know if the feeling is mutual. I don't know if the Vikings are super interested in signing him. Obviously, we had the whole injury situation and all that stuff. He was one of the chief tackles that got cut, so this would be a battle back for him to a certain degree. But there's no reason in my mind that the Vikings shouldn't at least be all over this thing in some way, shape, or form, looking at every angle of it. But yeah, that Achilles is going to be the biggest thing for Eric Fisher. Can he prove that his comeback from that ruptured Achilles is on the right track and putting him in a situation where he can play football come the beginning of next year?
Yeah, I like that name a lot. I really was thinking about Mitchell Schwartz as well, but I know he's a right tackle, I think. So
yeah, and that's kind of the crummy thing is, and that's the other thing that I don't like. Those mentions of Brian O'Neill switching from right tackle to left tackle.
I don't like that.
That's going to absolutely ruin Brian O'Neill, in my opinion. That will destroy him as a tackle. He will not be nearly as good on the left side as he is on the right.
I just feel like this team has to address something. They have to sign some sort of lineman though. They have to, because
for sure. Absolutely. Yes.
There's 2 spots right now that are open.
Have you looked at Vikings Twitter in a while? And by Vikings Twitter, I mean replies to the Minnesota Vikings on Twitter. Any one of their tweets.
I try not to, but I have.
It's amazing. It's the same picture over and over and over again. It's like those hypnosis swirls. And the big text is basically just like, you want to sign a guard. You want to sign a guard so bad. And it's true, man. Like, us fans, I feel like, people call us couch, our armchair quarterbacks, armchair head coaches, armchair GMs. Man, I'm telling you, if I was running this team, the only reason I can think of, and I've already said this, is that they're waiting out the market, right? Like, they're trying to get these average options to drop down in price even more. That's risky though. Like, you have the 10 mil to throw. Give a guy a $6 million contract. Give him, because there are some other safeties out here. I haven't even gotten into that yet, which is totally fine. Because that's not nearly as big of a deal, kind of, in my opinion.
I agree.
But some of these safeties, man, you look at what was his name? I think it was Boston, right? Or did Trey Boston already get signed? I think Boston was the name that I was thinking last. That's like a guy that
I think he's out there.
Yeah, him and Kenny Vicario are the 2 names that I've been kind of coming up with the most. They have low cap prices. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah.
Super low cap prices. They were probably 3 or 4 going into free agency. It's at least come down to probably about 2.5 at the most 3 still. So I don't see any reason why the Vikings should not be able to come out of free agency with a somewhat competent guard / tackle situation and a pretty confident safety situation. And again, if they leave safety for the draft, I like the safeties in the draft. I don't think that there's short, there's a short order on safeties when it comes to this draft class. So
I like Trevon Moehrig from TCU.
Yes, absolutely. He's great, and he could fall the second round, man, like easily.
Yep.
So get back in the second round. Take him in the second round.
He's kind of like a Grant Del Pitt, kind of like Antoine Winfield. Yes, kind of like absolutely. Like, I heard he's a really good tackler as well. He's going to be.
Have you seen some of his tape, man? He is a fantastic tackler.
No, like, yeah, they're saying he's a better tackler than Del Pitt, and he was up there with Winfield on like some of like the freaking projections, and that tells me something because we know how good Antoine is. So it's like
absolutely.
I mean, here's the thing though, dude. Like, they need to get back in the second round. I mean, they have to. They have to.
Yeah. I think in order to completely fix the holes on this team, you have to get back in the second round. And sorry, Rick, but that means you're going to have to give up some of your late round draft picks.
Yep.
And there's no reason that they shouldn't be willing to do that. I mean, obviously, we all understand the ratio there far outweighs those freaking. I mean, what are you going to have to trade to get back into the second round, right? You're probably going to have to trade like, I'd say, like 2 fourths or like a fourth and a fifth.
Yep. I would say like that.
4th, 5th. Yeah. And quite honestly, man, I don't like throwing a 4th and a 5th and a 6th if it can get you up in the top of the second round.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whatever you need to do to get back up there, it's so hard to watch. Anyways, but at the same time, we got the draft coming up. Free agency isn't over.
Yep.
They're still going to make some moves. There's no doubt about that. There's no way the Vikings are just done, obviously. We're not like the Green Bay Packers. You know what I mean? Like, we're not just sitting here not signing anybody.
Oh, man.
Which is a true fact, by the way. The Green Bay Packers have still yet to sign anybody that wasn't playing for them in 2020.
Yeah.
Just a fun fact. They got worse, like, drastically, but it's okay. Anyways, man. Yeah, those are my big names. I would have thrown Larry Fitzgerald on my list, but I feel like there are just so many bigger holes. And yet again, kind of the wide receiver market in the draft.
That too. Yeah.
Is big. So if they want another guy, they can easily address it in the draft. But yeah, man, if Larry wants to come for the vet minimum, if Larry wants to take the same check, maybe a little bit more than Chad Beebe, easy decision. Easy. Yeah. In fact,
exactly.
If Larry wants to do that, I know you just made, settled terms with Chad Beebe. Freaking cut that man today. Like, make the cap room now. Yeah, man, that's hilarious. That's so funny. Anyways, I will pass the mic to you. I know that there's quite a few signings and players that you want to talk about and bring up, so go for it. It's all you, man.
Yeah, man. Let's stay in the NFC North for a second. I know you just mentioned the beloved Green Bay Packers now.
Oh, geez, yeah.
They made a very interesting move today, actually. Re-signing cornerback Kevin King.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Now, I want to hear what your thoughts are about this, because I don't even know what to say, actually. I want to hear what you have to say, actually, first.
Vikings fans rejoice. Heck, you know what, man? Detroit and Chicago fans rejoice. I know y'all don't have a ton to be happy about right now, especially you, Chicago. Everything is freaking – I mean, I'm sure you're going to want to get into that yourself, so we'll leave that for you. But, man – here's the thing. I don't understand how I mean, like, I get it. The cap hit's like super low, right? Like, I can't remember the exact number. Do you have it pulled up? Do you remember what the number is?
No.
I want to say it was somewhere in the range of like $4 million or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't
Makes
much.
Sense. Yeah.
The point is that I'm trying to get at, I understand it's easier to just re-sign the guy super cheap, not necessarily lose a guy that fits your scheme really well or whatever. But man, how do you look at the tape that came out of the NFC Championship game and go, yeah, give me round 2. Give me him for another year. Dude, I actually, you know what? I said Minnesota Vikings fans, Chicago Bears fans, and Detroit Lions fans rejoice. Freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans rejoice, man. Freaking Green Bay is over here not getting any better. You're over there somehow not only retaining players, but doing it in a way that you're like easily. Like players are basically taking cuts to stay with you. Man, we're gonna see freaking another Green Bay Tampa Bay matchup in the playoffs. I hope it's not as late as the NFC Championship game. Obviously, I hope the Vikes are more in the running for that one, but I'd love to see Green Bay get knocked out in the wild card by freaking Tampa Bay this year or something like that again on a Desmond King freaking Hail Mary touchdown from Tom Brady, just throwing it up there loosey-goosey to Gronk. Man, just too hilarious to me. I don't understand the move, but Green Bay fans, help me out. Get back to me. Shoot me an email. Follow me on Twitter. DM me. Let me know what is going on. Why did you resign this?
Yeah, so it was a 1 year, $6 million. Now what did Pat $6 million, yeah.
Okay, but how much of it is guaranteed, right? Like what is the actual cap hit on it?
I don't know the exact guarantee. All I see from Rappaport is $6 million. And Tom Pelbold said just sick. They didn't see any guarantee, but it's just like, wasn't he hurt last year as well? Like going,
I think he was for a portion of the season, and then like I said, the freaking performance that he put on for the NFC Championship game, man.
Did you hear that they're also trying to get Rodgers to take a cut?
I did. See, so here's the thing there, right? Like, is it more of are you trying to get him to take a cut? Like, are you restructuring his contract, right? Or are you extending him? You know what I mean? Because there's a difference, right? You can make cap room in an extension. You just backload the years, which if you're the Green Bay Packers, in my opinion, that's the move, right? Like you have to do that. But then again, the Packers front office and the interesting way that they think, they drafted Jordan Love. So I have to believe that they, for some reason, believe in him for whatever reason.
Yep.
So are you restructuring it as in like, hey man, take a pay cut this year. We'll knock 2 years off of your contract, similar to like what Anthony Barr did, basically, where it's like, we only believe in you for this year at a lower cap price and next year at like the same cap price. And then you're gone. You get to test free agency and you get to go do your own thing if we don't win a championship in those 2 years. I think that is the dumbest thing that Green Bay can do, in my opinion. I think that you extend this man. If anything, I think you throw full support on him, especially after the MVP season that he had with the zero amount of help that you gave him. I think that you say, let me give you an extension, but we're going to make your cap hit less this year. And you're going to win us another like 3 Super Bowls in the next 5 years because you agree to this deal. Now, are the Green Bay Packers going to do that? No. But that's what they should do.
Yeah, I heard it's just them trying to get as much salary cap as they can, but it's like you're trying to, out of all the players on your team, like he's the one who got you in the NFC Championship in the first place. You wouldn't even have been there if it wasn't for him. Like your team isn't good besides your quarterback. Like, come on.
Terrible, my guy. Terrible.
All right.
You spent all that money on Aaron Jones. Was it worth it?
When there's multiple good running backs in the draft, but.
And A.J. Dillon.
Yep.
I cannot stress that enough. But anyways.
Okay, I want to get your thoughts on this one as well. New York Giants. New York Giants. I think I had them actually in one of my mocks previously. I had them taking, I think, Waddle in one of them. I don't know. All right, they needed a weapon for Danny Dimes. We all knew this coming into it. Kenny Golladay, though. to the New York Giants.
Yeah.
$72 million deal, which is up there with like Tyreek Hill and like it's up there.
I love it. I think it's a bit of money. I think it's quite a bit of money, but I love it. I love this move. It makes me so happy, my guy. Danny Dimes is going to be out there. He's going to be out there doing exactly what his name says. He's going to be throwing dimes, my guy. I mean, I absolutely love what the New York Giants organization did. And they did it with a late start. They had the whole Leonard Williams situation where they had to freaking find an extension with him because the franchise tag wasn't going to work for him, yada, yada, yada. Dude, absolutely amazing. I'm loving what the Giants are doing. If the Giants don't win their division this next year, I will be blown away. Absolutely blown away.
Just this signing, like the NFC East is going to be so interesting if you think about it next year. Like the Washington football team, you have Ryan. You don't know who's going to be starting at quarterback. They're definitely going to look into Mac Jones at quarterback.
Most definitely. Which
we saw how good that defense was. If they just get that right quarterback, I mean, this team is going to be legit.
Oh, for sure. Actually, you know what? I scratched that. Heineke all the way. Anyways,
oh my gosh.
I love it.
All right. Okay? We got them, the Giants, obviously.
We got Dak with the Cowboys.
That's really just depending on their defense. Their defense is it's either if their defense is terrible, they're done. I mean, I don't think they're going to win the division if the defense.
Not if you can score
bad.
50 points every game, my guy. Not if you can score 50 points every game. Not every NFL team can do that.
I know, but man, defense at the end of the day, I feel like still is going to win your team's games. And we saw it in the Super Bowl, man. We saw it in the Super Bowl.
Oh, for sure. No, that's fair. That's very fair.
Especially with fans hopefully coming back next year and all the seats will be full. I mean, I feel like the defenses are going to, especially like that's going to help them a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Dallas.
I dig that.
Giant.
Yeah.
Why am I okay? The Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, I could not think of the Eagles.
Oh, you couldn't think of it?
No, they were literally like
Anthony Harris, now a Philadelphia Eagle.
Oh man, Anthony Harris is going to help their defense that much. Wow,
dude, I'm telling you, he's going to go back to 2019 form in Philly.
You really think so?
Yes, and it's purely because he won't have to worry about two rookie freaking corners and no defensive line.
Yeah.
Okay, 2019 form, maybe not, but like 2018 form, like solid enough that the fan base knows about it, but not solid enough that he'll like stay a national name.
I don't know. I feel like the Eagles are just a tough spot, picking at number 6 right now. Like
the whole Philly situation, especially with didn't their coach say like he's not even in full support of Jalen Hurts?
Oh, God. Probably.
I'm like 99% sure that when he was asked about the QB situation, it was like, we're going to bring in a guy, hopefully with the free agency or with the draft, and the QB room is going to be a competition and like all this stuff. It's like, bro, why? Give my guy Jalen some respect. Like, give him a situation in which he actually feels comfortable and supported, and maybe y'all will actually do something, but whatever.
Well, they did finally make a good move. They got rid of Alshon Jeffrey. So.
Yes.
Finally.
That was a good move. I agree.
This one kind of just got to my head. Kyle Fuller actually?
Oh, yes. The Bears.
Kyle Fuller.
Talks about this. And what about Andy Dalton? Akeem Hicks seeking a trade.
Yeah, Akeem Hicks. That's crazy to me. The
Bears. The Bears fell apart within a 12-hour span. Look at the timestamps.
I don't feel like.
I'm serious. Look at the timestamps, my guy. They signed Andy Dalton. And within the next couple hours, if not actually before then, I'd have to look again at the timeline. But I'm pretty sure it came after. It was basically Dalton signed. A couple hours later, Kyle Fuller, we're going to cut you. It's just a matter of when.
Yep.
A couple hours later, Akeem Hicks, I want out. I need to trade. I need to trade now.
I mean, this defense is falling apart.
No, it's done. Shattered. Gone.
But now it's thinking like Denver gets Kyle Fuller now, and I think it's a massive signing for that team.
That's huge.
I think it's huge. I
That's
really
George
do.
Patton for you, my guy. That's George
this
Patton.
tells me though.
You want to?
Yeah. You want to know what this tells me though? This tells me that Denver has got to look for a QB in the first round now. They got that cornerback. I think Denver's got to look at QB.
Which is crazy because, like, what are they going to do? They're going to have to probably trade up.
Yep.
Because they're not in a situation where they're going to get one of the top 5 guys. Well,
they could get Mac, but
is that going to be the answer to your freaking situation? You're going to put in Mac over Drew Lock? I don't think so. I think Mac is in the same situation as that Stanford kid, who, by the way, I think needs to be a Minnesota Viking, in my opinion. 3rd round. Book it. Kid out of Stanford.
Okay.
Look into it. I'm telling you. Yeah, I have to look. Hold on. Stanford QB. Yeah. Davis Mills. Yes. Davis Mills. This kid is going to be a Minnesota Viking, or he better be. Few years behind Cousins, he'll be a killer. But anyways, the point is that I'm getting at is they're the same type of quarterback.
Yep.
The only difference is Davis Mills just hadn't had enough time in college. If he would have stayed another year in college here in Stanford, he'd be a first-round talent. Mac Jones and Davis Mills are the same in that they need a year at least, if not 2, behind a guy to learn the way of the NFL and how to be an NFL quarterback. And once they do that, sky's the limit. Sky is the absolute limit. Now, the difference with Mac Jones is he's got that Alabama shine to him.
Yep.
You know, and for teams that basically means, well, you've been in an NFL, program, basically. Or like you've been as close as you can be to the NFL system in college because you went to Bama. No. Mac Jones, just because you had that crimson on there, on that helmet of yours, just because you roll Tide, some team is going to throw him in there. They're going to throw him into the fire. They're going to try and start him like week 5, and it's going to be atrocious. He's going to come out there and freaking throw like 3 picks. It's going to be bad. And it's because they're not going to sit him. I'm telling you.
I don't see him really as a fit in Denver if I had to
No, God, no.
No.
He's not athletic enough.
Yeah.
Denver needs like a Trey. Yeah, they need like a Trey type challenge.
Trey Lance or Justin Fields, I would say. I see him more as a fit in Washington. You're going to have to put weapons around him. I feel like Washington has Terry McLaurin. They just signed Curtis Samuel, which I think is an amazing signing for Washington. Like
that's
the two Ohio State kids. Like
that was the biggest thing for me. I think that kind of like pointed, all signs point towards we're getting Mac Jones.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put guys around Mac Jones, and if you give 2 guys that can fly and just run routes, I mean, shoot. Mac Jones, the Washington football team has to get Mac Jones. I mean, there's no way they don't. Like, it's
the Washington football team are doing in a shorter amount of time what the New York Jets should have done 4 years ago, in my opinion.
The Jets are kind of
the Jets are going to jet. Yeah, we all know that. But like my point is, the Jets didn't have like a terrible defense, right? Like they've had a fairly average defense. This last year was bad, but that was because they basically decided they wanted to tank for Trevor, and then they somehow managed to not even be able to do that. But anyways, you look at the Jets now. I'm already excited, and I'm praying to God that the Jets don't draft a quarterback because I don't think that they need to. We've talked about this on the show many times. I think you either go offensive line or another weapon for Sam Darnold if you're the Jets at number 2. I think that's a no-brainer in my mind. Are they gonna go with freaking Justin Fields? Or not Justin Fields? Oh my God, Zach Wilson out of BYU. Yes, absolutely. That is 99.9% sure of happening. But I don't think they need to. I don't think they should. And my point here basically is Washington did their turnaround faster. They kept an average defense. They kept adding to it. And then they struck gold when they could. They they kind of wasted on offense what they needed to waste away until they were able to strike gold. And they have Terry McLaurin. They made another awesome signing at wide receiver. They have a pretty solid offensive line. Now they just need that quarterback. Like you were saying earlier, with just in general with the NFC East, man, like this team is a competent quarterback away from some really great success.
I feel like they should make a trade with Carolina down. I think they need to make a trade in the draft with Carolina and get that.
Carolina needs a quarterback, though. There's no way that's happening.
That's what I'm saying, though, so they can jump to number 2. Carolina jumps up to 2. Jets move back.
Oh, you're talking about the Jets. You're talking about the Jets now. Okay, got you.
I'm talking about the Jets because I don't feel like they need a quarterback at 2. I feel like they have leverage.
Yeah, and I think you can get even more, right? If you're the Jets, like you could probably get. Well, because isn't Run CMC being talked about as part of like trade packages potentially? Like I know he was definitely talking about his trade packages for the Deshaun Watson deal.
I heard some sort of.
If you're gonna get up to number 2, you're practically guaranteed Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, any one of those guys. Not practically guaranteed. You're guaranteed one of those guys. So why not do it? If you're already cool with letting Run CMC go, and then man, that Jets team, you draft whoever at number 6, I'm hoping like a solid wide receiver, freaking like probably Devontae Smith there would be great, in my opinion.
Yep.
Heck, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Jets are on the watch, my guy. Jets are on the watch.
Yeah. There is a draft thing I kind of want to talk to you about in a little bit, but there's one other signing I kind of wanted to get into actually.
Let's go.
It can be quick too. I mean, it's a team we actually kind of already talked on. It's the Arizona Cardinals. Now it's a former Cincinnati Bengal, AJ Green to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Big
AJ Green to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now I like this signing.
AJ Green to the Arizona Cardinals.
Sorry, yeah,
he was a Cincinnati Beng.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Messed up with my words there, but
you good.
I want to hear your thoughts now because I like this signing. I want to hear this.
No, I don't hate this signing. I thought it was really funny the reaction that the Cardinals kind of like fan base gave about like, who are you gonna double team now, dude? You're still gonna double team DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. Like they're a completely different level of wide receiver. Like I love AJ Green, but don't mess with me here. I think it sucks that Cincinnati's losing AJ with the era that they have a quarterback coming in. I think that AJ still could have been, like depending on how many years he played, if he was still like able to play in the league for another 4 years, I think Cincy is going to be in the talks as one of the better teams of the AFC by that time. If they're not, then something absolutely horrible has gone wrong in Cincinnati.
Yep.
Which obviously with their ownership group, I wouldn't be too shocked by, but anyways. Yeah, man, no, as far as Arizona goes, I like that a lot. I think it kind of ruins. I had Rashad going to them, Bateman, I believe, in one of our mocks. So, okay, we're going to get into this in the coming week. Actually, shout out, Tuesday, for those of you listening. Tuesday, we got at least a 2-round mock coming at you, maybe even 3, depends on how much time we're going to have. But hopefully free agency will be a lot more figured out by then. Basically, kind of the lay of the land will be a lot better mapped out for us. So, next Tuesday, catch us same place, same time, with a solid mock draft coming. It's going to be awesome how different it will be from our past mock drafts. Heck, I think I have our first one somewhere, at least on my end, saved. So I'll try and take a look at how much they differ, which is going to be absolutely crazy, but super stoked about that. Yeah, no, as far as Arizona goes, man, it's huge. I think if you're Arizona now, you have to be looking at how you can keep, you either have to look at offensive line, which I don't feel like is the massive need of your team. You could definitely make an argument that it's a need, but I think that the defense now is where you need to address either, the linebacker position, get another stud corner. There's quite a few in this draft. But yeah, man, I'd love to see like a JC Horn in the red, man, in the Red Sea over there. So yeah, I love that signing. I love it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I just feel like watching the Bengals a lot last season. I feel like AJ just needed a change of scenery, honestly, at the end of the day.
I do.
It just had something to do with the organization. I don't think it had anything to do with Joe Burrow or anything like that. It really was just, I feel like a lot of behind the scenes type of stuff with the ownership and stuff like that. I mean,
it felt like the love for football had been lost a little bit. Just like at least playing in Cincy. You know what I mean? Like he didn't look like the same guy on the field.
Yeah, you can definitely tell when you see that. I feel like injuries also played a toll in it as well.
Oh yes, for sure.
If he can stay healthy, I feel like it's going to be amazing for Cincinnati. I mean, put another weapon for Kyler. Like, man, the Cardinals are going to be fun, man.
Yes,
it's going to be great.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be dope. I'm so stoked about that, man. I'm glad that you brought that up. That's great. Yeah, because with JJ Watt over there making that signing. And I mean, like they're not bargain shopping by any means because these guys aren't coming at like a bargain, but they're definitely taking some of the older toys off the shelf and trying to get one last go with them. I feel like they're like Andy from Toy Story 3 when he's giving his toys away. Just one last good go, man. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked to watch the Arizona Cardinals, brother. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Any other big signings? Any other big guys that you want to draw attention to?
But
I'm completely running the blank.
I actually have. Did you see anything about Mel Kiper's mock today?
Yes. Oh my God.
I wanted to get into this.
Oh yeah, go for it, brother. I don't have like the ESPN Plus, so but I don't think he went into the specifics of it.
No, I have the first 6 picks, but there's something at number 9 we will get into in about a second. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously the first 3 picks, he has Lawrence to the Jags, Wilson, Jets, Fields to the Panthers, actually trading up. Then actually Trey Lance to the Falcons, and I'll count 4 QBs off the board. I mean, that's really interesting to me.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But
bang,
then
bang,
at
bang,
5 bang. Now, at 5, Kyle Pitts to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it, honestly. I mean, obviously, no, because Riley Reef. Oh my God, we didn't talk about that. Yep. Real quick, Riley Reef, if he's gonna go anywhere else, Cincinnati Bengals, friends of the show. We love Joey Burrow.
Yep. He's
super stoked for that. That's awesome. That's great. Nothing but good luck and best wishes to Riley Reef, and you better protect the heck out of Joey Burrow. I know he's going back to right tackle, so it should be easier for him.
Yeah, okay. But then at number 6, it's Jamar Chase. Now, there's a specific guy from the Eagles. There's a specific player not in the top 6. I hope you know who it is.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I saw this.
Yeah.
So I saw this. I know where this is going. I love it. Give me number 9. You can say it. Go for it. You can say it. Number 9.
Number 9, man. The Minnesota Vikings actually trading up to get Penei Sewell.
Yes, that's right. Your boy, Penei Sewell.
Yep.
The top tackle. And it's not even close. This guy, if the quarterback situation wasn't what it was, he would be a top 3 pick easily.
Yep.
Still probably, hopefully is. Well, not hopefully. Obviously, in a situation like this where Minnesota Vikings get Penei Sewell, that needs to happen. But, man, that's so funny. I mean, I love it. You know I love it. But I also know that in the article, he says this would probably take a second-round pick. Second-round pick for Minnesota to trade plus more. So he doesn't get into specifics of how the trade is made, which kind of pisses me off. I feel like that's the number one thing with a mock draft. Like, you should get into specifics of how you feel like certain things are going to work. But at the same time, got to get those clicks. Shout out Mel Kiper.
Yep.
I understand.
Exactly. At the end of the day, I hate to say it, but I just feel like it's a little unrealistic because I just don't see Rick Spielman trading up for an offensive lineman in the first round, even though he is a generational talent. I don't feel like you have the capital to do that. At least capital that you're willing to like part with. You know what I mean? Like, who are you going to trade on the team to get, because I don't know.
you need to use your pick at 14 to fill holes, not trade up and lose something else to create another hole.
Yep. We don't have the leverage.
No.
And Rick would never trade up for no lineman.
About it. We talked about it for like 10 freaking minutes about how we need to get back into the second round this year. Like, we don't have that capital. So, yeah, man. But that is crazy. Bringing that up, I can't remember if I touched on this already. You can stop me if I already did. But the Orlando Brown Jr. trade.
Oh, no, you have not. Nope.
Yeah, man. So Vikings had called Baltimore. It's known information. And who's to say that they're not still calling? I would love to see a trade for Orlando Brown Jr. I think that the longer he has stayed on the Ravens, his price has gone down. I think that this could easily just be a swapping of first round picks and maybe tack on a third rounder and a sixth rounder. And you could probably honestly get an Orlando Brown Jr. Now, is that going to happen before the draft? Is it going to happen day of the draft? I would argue it's probably going to be a draft day trade, just like Deshaun Watson probably will be.
Yep.
Watch that whole situation. Another woman came out and filed a report against him today, if I saw. So
I did hear about that.
Who knows if Deshaun Watson's going to be freaking playing football at this point? But yeah, man, absolutely massive. A ton is going on. All we know right now at the moment is the Vikings need to sign some form of offensive lineman. We like Eric Fisher. We like Forrest Lamp. Who are your guys again? Say the names.
Trey Turner.
And there was another gentleman.
What? Cincinnati Bengals. Why am I? Oh my gosh. I know he's a guard. Oh my gosh. I have it somewhere. Come on.
You're good, brother. Don't worry about it. But anyways, the point is basically we got to sign
Quentin Spain. I got him.
There you go. You got it. You got it.
Yep.
So we got to sign one of these guys. Day by day, their contract price, it's dropping, so that's good. Yep. But at the same time, I'd like to see it happen sooner rather than later so I can stop having nightmares about it. We're going to need another wide receiver. Chad Beebe is not our wide receiver 3. I know that he won a game for us this last year. I don't care. He's not our wide receiver 3. We're going to need a safety. They need to figure that out. But we also have a fantastic draft coming up, something that we are super stoked for. We got another mock coming up for all you listeners next week. And yeah, man, stay tuned. I think we're done. I think this has been a great episode. I think that this is where we can wrap it up. We can get them excited. Get all you guys hopefully are excited for this next week. I'm super stoked about this next Tuesday.
Yeah.
At least 2 rounds, maybe even 3. And we'll be coming at you with that. Shout out to everybody. This is the start of the second season of Vikes with the Mic. New league year happened last Friday. That's right. Or last Wednesday. So season 2 has officially begun. Great to be here. We love you guys so much. Check out all of our past episodes. Check out the past season. Now that's fun to get to say. Check out the past season. Support us in any way, shape, or form. Reach out to us, guys. We want some interaction. Come on. I know that I see the numbers. I know that there are listeners. So I know that some of y'all hear this message. Not some of y'all. There are a good number of y'all that hear this message and just don't interact with us. So come on, send us something. Follow us on Twitter. Shout out. Let's go. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week with that mock draft and hopefully some more free agency news on top of that. But we're super stoked.
Yeah.
We'll see you then. Skol.